Welcome to Right Ideas with Susan, where I put up simple ideas to help people like you who are teaching kids about the Bible, about Jesus, and Christian values. And today we're tackling a really big question that we get asked all the time, especially when we're teaching the creation story. Who made God? So I'm going to talk you through an object lesson as well as a sketching sort of teaching session, and followed up by a simple craft that your kids can do. All right, let's get started. First of all, we just start with talking about time, and I just bring in a simple paper plate, and I've made some little moving arms, and I just move the arms and say, oh, what are you guys doing at 6 in the morning just about every day? Oh, sleeping, getting up, having breakfast. What are you doing at 9 o'clock in the morning? Oh, we're in school. Or what are you doing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon usually? Getting out of school. So we talk about time, and I talk about how time is a big part of our lives, isn't it? But there's something really important that time teaches us about God. And then I just do a little sketch and a teaching so that they can hear and see and how I answer their big question. So here's my little demo. Now, we've been talking a lot about time today, and we're going to use a clock. And you're going to be able to make your own clock and decorate it in a very special way. So first of all, I'm going to draw my clock here. And my clock needs some hands. So there's one. Now, we've been talking about what you do at different times during the day and how we all are confined by time. Time is a big part of our life, so I'm going to draw my family inside the clock, and I'm going to want you to draw your family inside your clock too. So just drawing them here. And we also have a cat. Do you have any pets? And we have a little cat named Olive, so I'm going to draw her in here as well. You might have some chickens or goldfish or things like that. The other thing that we have all around us, our house and in our neighborhood, is we have beautiful trees around our neighborhood, and we have some beautiful flowers. So I might draw some flowers in here around the place, plants. When I look up into the sky during the day, what do we see? Yeah, we see the sun. So I'm going to draw a sun. And what do we see at night? Yes, the moon and stars. Oh, we also, we see some clouds. Yep, in fact, I might use blue for the clouds. What else sometimes do we see up in the sky? Yeah, we see planes, but we'll see birds as well, don't we? And sometimes they're landed in the trees. Beautiful things in our world. And if you go to the ocean, let's draw some water. Go to the ocean. What else do we see when we go to the ocean? A lot of times we see fish. Hopefully not a shark in the ocean when we're in there. And you know, when God created everything we've been learning about, when he finished creating everything, he looked at everything he created, and what did he say? He said, all of it is very good. It includes you and me and your family. So we all live inside this world and this universe and inside our clock. And it does make us think when we see what God has created, you know, because we have a beginning and we have an end, but it makes us think that who created God? The Bible does give us some indication, and actually nature does too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put God outside of our clock, because God is different to us. He is not confined and limited by time. No. The Bible tells us that he created time. Remember, in the beginning, God created. He's the one who created it all. And the Bible tells us that God is eternal. What does that word mean? Yes, it means forever and ever. Now, have you ever seen a sign that looks like this? It's an 8, but it's lying down on its side. Yeah, infinity. Infinity is forever, goes on forever and ever. And if God is eternal and He's always existed, did He ever have to be born or created? No, God never had to be created because He's always existed. He is eternal and He's not bound by time, and so He can be everywhere all at once. In fact, the Bible tells us that He's omnipresent, which means He's everywhere as well at the same time. Now that's hard for us to understand, but God is different to us. He is so powerful. He's eternal and He's always existed. Now, does that answer your question? You're going to get a paper plate like this, and you're going to draw some of the things, your family, whatever, inside your clock. And we want to make sure that we put God and the word eternal outside, because God lives beyond time. Now, the other thing I'd like you to do when you finish decorating, I want you to decorate the edges of your plate. Because this plate has a boundary, I want you to cut along the plate, because God has no boundaries, He has no limits, He's always existed, and so that's why I'd like you to cut the edges of your plate. Now for a few little tips to help you with this lesson. If you don't have a whiteboard or something like that, you can just grab a sketch pad or a piece of paper and just draw from that with your kids sitting on the floor. They love watching you draw, and you can even put little cheat lines in there if you don't feel comfortable drawing freehand. So there's another way that you can do this teaching time. The other thing is, for the craft, you have to get the plates ready. So for the older kids, I just simply drew a line and put a sticker in the middle so they can easily draw their hands for their clock. For the little ones, I just did God and eternal, just to make it easier for the younger children. And if you had resources, to be able to do this sort of hands thing, moving hands, ready for the kids, and have it totally blank and the kids can draw inside the circle that you've drawn, that would really be cool if you have that prepared, but that does take a lot more time. I'm always into trying to make things as simple as possible. You need to have at least 20 minutes, if not 30 minutes, to do the introduction of talking about the clock and doing this teaching, and they want at least 10 minutes, if not 15 minutes, to work on their plate. They love to go into detail and tell you what they're drawing. So give them time to do that. And then the cutting is really good, especially for the little ones, for their cutting skills. So that's really good. The other way you can do it, which I wanted to show you, is you can get little animal stickers, and instead of drawing everything, you can give them a little sheet of stickers and they can put all the different things inside the circle and just draw their family as well. And that's another way you can do the craft. And I think it's really important that we take time answering this question, because it is the number one question that I get whenever I'm teaching Genesis, and we can't just fob it off because it's foundational to faith formation. It really is, to understand that God is eternal, that He's omnipresent, that He's everywhere, and He's different to us. And getting their head around that, that's so important. And then it makes it easier when you teach future lessons, because they've already understood that God is eternal. It really is so significant that we need to address this when we're teaching kids. There's one more thing. I have started a playlist on this sort of topic, God, evolution, creation, of clips that I found on YouTube that could be really helpful. In fact, the Wonder Blimp clip is excellent.
Have you ever heard the word eternal?
Nope. What's it mean?
It means forever, with no beginning and no end. God is eternal. There was never a time when God wasn't, and there will never be a time when God isn't.
Whoa, you're kind of freaking out my brain.
That is a great clip to use as a reinforcement or a follow-up on this topic. Okay, friends, if you liked it and it helped you, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I'd love you to subscribe. You just hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and then you'll be notified whenever I put up a new clip. Thanks so much for watching, and may God bless you as you teach kids about our amazing, eternal, mighty God.